blood.
Yeah, God. None of that sounds like a good idea.
Not a party.
No. Well, on that note, shall we get started?
Yeah, let's, on that lovely...
Chipper note.
Sit right back and you'll hear a tale.
Yeah.
Welcome back to the laboratory of foolishness.
Ooh, I like that. The laboratory of foolishness. I really like that.
The rocket of reason. Yeah, Mike Romiski show back here with Mr. Nathan Betts.
Hey.
To my right, where he always is.
Your IB.
Yep. What's the date today, Nate?
It is April 25th, and I drank too much last night, and I'm feeling it a little bit.
That was just a test to see if you remembered.
Yep.
And on that date,
Mm-hmm.
in 1960,
Yes.
the USS Triton completed its underwater circumnavigation of the globe.
It didn't come up once.
Well, that's what they're saying. And how do you do that without running into something?
Yeah. I mean,
I would think you're stuck in a tube with your fellow seamen for who knows how long.
right? Sorry, I'm trying to be an adult about that. I still can't do it.
So, yeah. Anyway.
No, I can't. No. There's nothing about being underwater sounds like a good idea to me.
I think it's kind of insane, too. I think it takes a special kind of a guy to be a submariner.
I think it takes a special kind of, what is it? Insanity, maybe? Or is it?
I would say that's in play.
I mean, something's got to be. I mean, to volunteer for that, be like, hey, you know what I really want to do? My best friend Joshua's little brother, he's a submariner.
Well, that answers a lot of questions.
Apparently. I don't know.
You heard about the tragedy that occurred in '61, right? Where with the whale? He bit the head off of a submarine and sucked the semen out of it.
God, gross. Oh, Lord.
The naval tragedy.
A maritime disaster.
Yeah. Of
Was it a killer whale at least?
Titanic proportion.
Was it Moby Dick?
That's likely. That's likely.
The irony is just...
I think it was a sperm whale, that's for sure. Anyways, yeah, so you were up drinking last night.
I was like an idiot, and I even started the night off before having a single drink. I announced to my friend Josh and the heavens, I said to him, you know, the last time we did this, it didn't end very well for me, so maybe I'll just nurse like one or two, and then smash cut to me matching him drink for drink the rest of the night, and he pours them 50-50. We're doing Captain and Coke, and we're drinking out of glasses at least this big. So we're doing this much Captain and this much Coke.
And the end of the evening usually ends with, "What do you mean it's 1 a.m.?"
Yeah, it was 12:15, and I was like, "You're kidding me, right?"
Oh, dude, I'm already blown off 4 hours of sleep.
Yeah.
Sitting here with your dumb ass.
Yeah, I've already lost 2.5 hours of sleep, but yeah, I was behind a little bit, and I was supposed to get up and go to work at 6 this morning. I ended up going to work at 6:50 instead.
We have a house guest, so I went to bed early last night. The lovely Trish is staying with us.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, she was supposed to come and be a guest on your show. Was she's feeling a little under the weather today?
Yeah, she's feeling a little under the weather.
Yeah.
Didn't show. So that's the way it goes.
Well, that's just the way that goes, I guess.
So she's babysitting dogs.
Sucker.
And here I am. spring is refusing to like hold on tightly enough to
so
get
cold.
out and do things. But at least it
Cold.
ain't snowing.
Yeah, at least it's not snowing, but it's still cold.
But yeah, it is cold. It's we call this California cold because it's like upper 40s to the mid 50s.
So it's not cold or anything, but you still need a jacket.
Yeah, but if you live in California, you're wearing a parka.
Right.
You know, you got your snow gear on.
If my sister visited, she's from Arizona, and if my sister visited, she'd be like, "Will you turn up the heat? It's freezing in here."
Freezing? Are you kidding me? It's 72 degrees.
Yeah, it's nice. But the second the wind kicks up, you're like, "Oh man, where's my jacket?"
And the reason I say that is I'm from California initially, and I ain't kidding, man. If it got like this, you bundled up.
Yeah, got your scarf out.
And to this day, if I can be here and I could go out in this kind of weather. Well, you see how I'm dressed.
Yeah, you got
a jacket.
no jacket today.
But if I was there, oh yeah, man, I'd have my muckalucks on, and you know,
you're looking for your snowshoes just in case.
Yeah, down stitched parka and stuff. You know.
Yeah.
But no. Well, because down there, you got to have some time to wear them clothes.
Sure. I mean, you bought them for a reason, assuming.
Yeah, usually for that one time you were going up into the mountains fishing.
Right.
But by God, I paid, $127 for this jacket. I'm going to wear it. So now it's cold enough to put it on without sweating.
Yeah, so I'm going to make sure it still works.
Yep. Anyways, yeah, that's where we're at on that. But we're supposed to hit the mid 70s by Wednesday.
Oh, that'd be good because I've been
Pardon me.
My feet have been freezing the last couple of days, and that doesn't usually happen to me. And once my feet go, I'm like, oh, now I'm cold.
Well, I think once it starts getting up in the mid 70s, we're going to be good. See, I'm sitting back waiting to plant my vegetable garden, man. And every time I get ready to throw it in, the temperature dips down a little bit. I don't want to frost them out. I don't want to lose them, man. So I sit back and reboot for the next weekend.
Yeah.
I think after this one, next weekend is probably going to be the... Yeah, because if it frosts, it'll kill them all.
Yeah, yep. You'll be done. You'll have to start all over again. You've been nursing those in your windowsill for about...
every bit of a month.
Yeah, a while.
If not longer than that. Yeah. Oh, guess what I bought?
What'd you get?
Ginseng seeds.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, 100 of them.
So you're going to start... What is it? What does that stuff do? What is it?
It's a stimulant.
Is it?
Yeah, you literally are supposed to have... I don't even know what I'm supposed to be saying. They're supposed to have a permit to grow the thing.
Really?
Yeah, I guess it's like growing a weed or something. You know?
Really? I didn't know that.
And the seeds are from back east, and I did a little looking around, and there's a Northwest Ginseng Growers Association that encompasses Idaho and Washington and Oregon.
Interesting.
And they're supposed to grow high quality ginseng here. So I went, get some ginseng seeds.
Sure, why not?
At $67 an ounce.
Holy crap.
For these roots. Yeah, that's what I said.
Wow.
I'll see how it plays out.
Might have a new business model coming up here pretty soon.
My days of sleeping might be over, man.
Yeah.
But they say the medicinal properties of these things are good for just all kinds of stuff. The Chinese obviously have been using it for
a while.
Millennia.
Yeah.
And there's the aphrodisiac properties that it's supposed to have, which I think most people buy the stuff for.
I'll have what he's having.
Why is this table lifted up? That ginseng away.
I've got to say, I was not prepared for that.
It's supposed to be good for your blood and your circulation, and good for you. It has a whole.
That's how Viagra got invented. So, it was started off as like a heart thing. It was for circulation.
I remember when that first kicked off, and all the old men were coming in, going, it's been longer than 4 hours, Doc. I want to dose this down.
I don't really know what to do here.
Did you bring your wife with you? Yeah, and she's out there going.
Yeah. She's having a really good time, but she's like unable to.
walk.
Yeah, she like I've ruined her for her age and everything, and I've still got this, and she's not allowing me to like continue using it. So we need to figure out how to not cut it off, but I mean, you need to dial this back. Choose my words wisely here.
What we need is a female Viagra. That's
there you go.
And I'm sure there's a lot of ladies that wish there were a female Viagra.
That would be sweet.
Out there.
Well, I mean, you could just give Viagra to a female and see what happens.
Yeah, I suppose. But I don't think the chemistry is quite the same.
It's not quite right.
No.
Could you imagine, like, honey, you're lifting that table. That's really weird. First of all, what is that?
Yeah, we're going to stop this medication right away.
Right now.
Yeah.
And we're going to call the doctor and have a long chat.
Yeah, this is not in the side effect list here.
This was not in the information. It wasn't in the pamphlet.
Which brings me to side effects. Have you seen some of the drugs they're selling on TV, man? Some of the side effects?
Oh, my God,
May cause death.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Who wants to risk something like that to alleviate,
Yeah. My elbow hurts. You might die, but try this.
Yeah, brain hemorrhage and stuff, But this will last all day if you take it. Maybe my last day.
Yeah, awesome. So, yeah, I actually don't have television at the moment. So I've actually been have had a reprieve for the last couple of months of not getting inundated with...
You don't have TV?
Not at the moment. We just use the Netflix and Amazon Watch Instant Video, and we're gonna subscribe to Hulu here pretty soon. But yeah,
don't bother.
Yeah,
I tell you,
Hulu's not good.
Nah. Well, you might like it. I didn't.
Amy's got a whole list of shows that she wants to watch on there. There's her old House Hunter shows is on there and all that horse shit. So
yeah, they do got a bunch of stuff like that. But I didn't like. I got the big Hulu package and watched it half a dozen times and just went.
Interesting. Well, I probably won't because I'm going to be out in the shop all the time. But since I'm out in the shop all the time, Amy's like, I want this and I want to watch that and I've got this show to watch.
Well, I did that for a couple of years. I was, kind of unplugged from the grid and all of that as far as TV goes, and I used Netflix and whatever was on, and I was good with that.
Yeah.
Clean up until when football season rolled around this year, and my team was getting hot, and it's like
I kind of want to watch these at my house.
I need to plug back in this year.
Yeah.
So.
I kind of wanted to get television again, get a package that had the Discovery Channel. I was like, I miss my Discovery Channel, and then you got television again, and we started flipping through some of the stuff that was on the Discovery Channel. I was like, it happened even there. My favorite show or my favorite channel that has like the only thing that is worth watching that I find interesting, like Mythbusters and all that kind of stuff. I hadn't had Discovery Channel for probably 2 or 3 years, and flipping through the Discovery Channel out at your house, and it was all fucking reality stuff. Just all reality. I was like, what the hell happened to the Discovery Channel? What?
The same thing that's happened to the History Channel.
Oh my God!
We got what? Pawn Stars and
on the History Channel.
Yeah, the thing about cars and dude, this is the History Channel.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with programming today or programming at all these days, but that's all that it is.
It used to be all historical documentaries and stuff like, which I enjoyed.
Sure. Yeah.
But
I guess those ran their course apparently.
I do gotta say, I watch the Pawn Stars sometimes just because you'll be thumbing through there, and you'll stop on it for just a minute and look, and somebody will walk into that building with something so
bizarre.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I gotta hang around and see what that thing's worth. You know?
Yeah.
Why? I don't have one. Why do I need to know this?
It's kind of like Oddities. We watched all of Oddities.
Now, see, I like Oddities.
Yeah.
Because it's oh my God mixed with ew.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's almost exactly what it is. But that show.
Who in the world would put that in a jar and save it?
Yeah. That one's interesting. I liked the Oddities, but I was actually going to bring this up, so this actually worked out perfect. But I was sitting there last night and got presented with the iPad, and she's like, "Here, watch this." The wife had to show me something that she was watching on a show she likes to watch called Freaky Eaters. I was like, first of all, that's a show. This is what we entertain ourselves with. Find people that do weird things and eat weird things and put it in front of us. That's fantastic. So there's Freaky Eaters, and she's watching this and watching that, and then there's another one called Strange Addiction, and she really likes that one. And
I think I've seen that one.
She plops this down. She wants to tell me all about this one episode. Oh my God! I watched this episode, and this guy, it's called objectophilia, and it's where you fall in love with inanimate objects or whatever. And there's like some gal that put out a petition so that she could marry the Eiffel Tower. Somebody fell in love with a roller coaster. This dude is in love with his car. His car's got a name. His name's Chance. It's a red car, and there's nothing special about this car. It's like it's not even like a cool fancy car. It's like a was it like a Monte Carlo maybe, or maybe it wasn't an Impala, but like the newer Impalas where you're just like, oh, there's a car, not the cool old Impalas. It's just a regular run of the mill red car. Nothing special about it. It wasn't fancy. It wasn't a sports car by any means. It was like a coupe, like a sedan coupe. So like a little bit fancier than a sedan.
I wonder if the car thieves ever said that. I gotta go take a coupe.
So the dude, they're showing this guy, and he's like making out with the bumper and like rubbing on it, telling him that he loves him. He's got like this.
He's being physical with his car.
Being physical with his car. He gets in his car and gets physical with himself. He says they have a personal, intimate relationship. Him in this car.
Maybe he needs to get some kind of assistance.
I'm thinking the same thing. So I got done, and she's like, "I just want you to watch the first 5 minutes because it's amazing." I'm like, "How is it amazing?" She's like, you just have to see it." I'm like, I don't, but okay. So I watched the whole thing. I get done, and I get to thinking about it later. I'm like, I could have went my entire life not knowing that people like that exist. Why do I care if that dude's making out with his car bumper? How did that make my life better?
I'd have to make fun of him.
I mean, there's nothing else you can do but make fun of him.
Scratch your car.
Yeah, and he said that he gets really upset when he finds a new ding in it. And I was like, what if he totaled it? And apparently they thought the same thing because they're like,
kids on a bike. Here's $20, kid. Go right
into the door. Just
your kid, he won't hurt you.
Plow it. So they kind of ask him something along the same lines. They didn't say what happens if it were to crash, but they just said what would happen if something major happened to it. What would happen? And he's like, I'm sorry, we're gonna have to take a break for a second. And he starts wiping his eyes. He like got emotional about his car. Like he is in love with he has anthropomorphized his car. He said like he's got a picture of it. He's like, I can see his face. I stare at his face all day long. I just can't wait to get off work and get back to my car. I'm like, you are nuts, dude.
That's a bit bizarre. I mean, as most people know that's ever listened to this,
sure,
I've got a Harley Davidson that I'm very fond of.
Yeah.
But I'm proud of my bike. I like my bike, but I don't have like an emotional attachment.
Right. You don't go out and when Lisa's not looking, you don't go out there and make out with the bumper.
Yeah.
I am not kidding you, Mike. He got down under the car, so his legs are under the car, and he's like to the best that he can. He was like trying to like snuggle up to the bumper, and he got right up to it, and he's like he was going for it, like he was making out with this bumper. I'm like, how does that happen? How do you feel like there's a connection there to something that's not real?
That's bizarre. That's right up there with some of those bizarre shit I've ever heard.
Yeah. And now I know this, and now I have to.
Now you feel slightly scarred.
I do, and
because of it, yeah.
Well, and now I've scarred all of you, which I don't know if you guys watch that kind of entertainment or people listening like that kind of thing, but I just find it. All I could think was why? Why do I need to know about this dude?
I have an idea for a show that maybe we should consider because the source is right here in Lewiston.
Okay.
As long as everybody's making money off of these reality shows. You know the dude down there
the traffic shouter?
What's his name?
I do not. I don't know what his name is. Traffic shouter.
We have this guy that, I mean, literally is shouting at people driving by and
shouts
waving
at
his
traffic and flipping people off. He's schizophrenic for one, and he doesn't take his meds.
Well, that answers a lot of questions, but he's there all the time.
Yeah, he's there often. He's there more than he's not. There's people that are supposed to be taking care of him, and they
don't.
Well, they're like, we try to get him. He just won't.
Gets off his leash all the time, man, and he's out in the traffic.
Just won't take his medication or whatever. I guess he's got a daughter that lives in town or used to live in town. I think she moved away.
Why?
And I'm not really sure. I don't understand. But yeah, that's what I've gathered on it, is that he won't take his schizo meds. But that would.
But you look at this guy, and he's passionate about what he's saying.
If you listen to him, sometimes he's preaching the Bible.
Oh, I think so. That's where my mind goes when I see him. Is he's.
But then he'll go but then he goes and flips everybody off.
You're all sinners.
Yeah.
You, and you.
You're all fucked.
You're all going to hell.
Yeah, like if you sit there and listen to him, he preaches the Bible with swearing and flips everyone off, and then he tells that I don't remember what else he usually gets up to, but it's usually something along the lines of you guys all are going to hell or something like
Everybody
that.
but him.
Yeah,
because he knows.
Mm-hmm. So,
but I thought it'd be a lot of fun just to follow him around for a day or two, and
as a pilot, just to see what happens.
Yeah,
it'd be interesting. I don't. At a certain point, though, he's got a mental illness. At what point does it cross the exploitation line?
I wonder if it's like a lot of it is Tourette's or something.
That could be it. That might be a Tourette's, schizophrenic induced
Somebody's been one of my
Tourette's.
replies. Somebody comes and says, "Hey, you know what's really funny?" And I say, "A nun with Tourette's," and usually stops them in their tracks. And they kind of giggle, and go, "Yeah, that would be fun.
That would be amazing."
But yeah, I don't know if that would be like in the abusive arena or
right,
what, but it would certainly be in the entertainment.
It'd be very entertaining. However, at what point was the dude that I was literally subjected to it? I would not say that I didn't seek it out. I was just told, you have to see this, and I didn't want to, but I complied because apparently she felt it was important. So, but at what point was that not exploitation on his part? Because there's obviously something not firing correctly in his brain.
You know what? If I was that guy's neighbor, I would be in jail because I would not be able to not mess with him.
Yeah,
I would have to.
Yeah,
because I understand that's bizarre. I get it. Dude, you've got problems. And if you're not interested in helping yourself, I'm interested in helping you.
I'm interested in making some money at least.
I'm interested in helping you realize your problems at the very least. So
yeah, the internet's going to help you very, very quickly.
Could you imagine getting the plastic dog poop and putting it on the hood or something like that? Just things like that on a daily basis. So he has to come out.
Train your dog to go piss on it. Just lift his leg on him. But
those bullet hole things, you know
my
what
God.
I mean? Put them
just
on a
tape
car.
them on there, yeah.
About 1 a.m, throw some firecrackers out on the front lawn. You'd have to mess with them, man.
But why? Why are we? First of all, we're talking about it, and you and I don't really watch that type of programming, and it made it all the way down to us. But second of all, why is that entertainment in 2014? Why is somebody exploiting someone's weirdness? Why is that entertainment?
I don't know, man, but I've never been one to be like completely flabbergasted by that. I'm one that encourages it. See, I swear to God, I'll blow my head off. I dare you. Go ahead.
Do it.
Yeah. Don't sit out here and talk about it.
Yeah.
You're obviously a whiner because, you're
not going to do it, first of all.
Yeah, you ain't going to do it.
So,
but, and normally they don't.
Yeah.
But,
So that was my peeve of the week.
Jump!
Yeah. Do it! Come on! It's soft!
No, wait, hold on, wait.
got my camera.
All right, Joe.
Okay, my camera's rolling. Go. It'll be cool. You'll be a YouTube sensation. I mean, not that you'll care unless you survive and you're not gonna paraplegic, but yeah.
We will.
Yeah. I'll probably watch it once a week. I'll laugh. God, could you imagine actually watching that?
You talk about this kind of stuff, and you'll get 50% of the people who laugh their asses off at what you just said.
Yeah.
And you'll get 50% of them who look at you.
What the hell is your problem?
You're sick, dude.
Yeah.
You're part of the problem.
Okay.
No. I think you're part of the problem. Laugh a little.
Yeah.
You know, kind of look at things in the way they were intended.
Right.
Don't super analyze them and throw it back and try and cause a problem.
From your smug and pious, high and mighty.
You're obviously superior to everybody else in this room. So.
Yeah, obviously. So I was compelled to let you know, since I have to know that there are people in the world.
Thank you for sharing.
You're very welcome. So
I'll probably have a nightmare tonight.
That's my peeve of the week is
what was the name of that thing about the movie with the Christine?
Christine, yeah,
the car,
that
killed people and stuff like that.
Well, this is
all we could do to her. We could airbrush Christine
oh
on
my
the side.
God! But his name's Chase.
Not anymore.
That's also another thing that I found
interesting.
That it was a male car. Most dudes always, so it's obvious that he has a bend toward, and maybe that's the thing in his brain that snapped.
Bend?
Yeah. The thing in his brain that snapped was he didn't want to admit that he is into dudes, but he has a dude car that he's in love with. So maybe there's a dude named Chase, or his fantasy in his brain is Chase that is...
So rather than coming out of the closet, he will come out of the car.
Right. So the physical manifestation... Out of the trunk. He's going to come out of the trunk.
Yeah, the trunk.
He's going to come out of the 5-point safety harness.
Not if I have the keys, he ain't coming out.
So that must have been the physical manifestation of something...
The dude's obviously got issues, man. And truthfully, so do the people that put that on.
That's kind of where I came down on it too. I was like, that's really effed up, but it's really effed up that I'm watching this. Like, as an this isn't an informative show. This is to I'm not really sure what their tactic of showing me this. Are you showing me this to entertain me, to inform me? Are you showing me this to exploit people? Well, I don't understand where I'm supposed to come down on this, how I'm supposed to feel about it.
The man's condition is disturbing.
Yes.
The fact that they filmed it and made a show out of it is even more disturbing.
I think so too.
But what's more disturbing than that is there's a market for it.
Right.
That's the ultimate disruption of the norm.
Yeah.
There.
It's kind of like the ultimate. It's the ultimate Schadenfreude, isn't it? Like where
I would say.
We're getting, or somebody's getting pleasure out of that person's disposition or whatever.
Yeah.
So
they're the ones that go to the hanging.
And
let's go to the stoning.
Oh yeah.
No, we went to the stoning last week.
What is that on Life of Brian? They're buying rocks for the deluxe rocks for the stoning.
Who's that on the hill? Oh, that's the Christ. What's he saying?
He said the meek shall inherit the earth.
Oh, good. They should get something. I love that movie.
You just sit here and quote Monty Python for the rest of the show now.
Yeah.
At least that's not expletive, whatever. It's not bad.
I say that to my wife all the time. She'll say, well, you go in there and get me this or that. You're not my king.
Yeah. Well, he's not my king.
They didn't vote for you.
I didn't vote for him. So that was my pet peeve of the week. I usually don't throw one out unless I can think of one, and that's what I. Do you have something that's been bugging you this week?
You know what bugs me? I take my dog to the vet. You know, I understand that people are in business and they have to make money to stay in business and all of this. But like doctors and dentists and veterinary people, you know, I believe they sell you more than they need to. What happened to the days when you went in?
They upsell you on stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What happened to the days when you went in and they treated your issue and sent you on your way? Now it's like, well, we could probably do, and they fill you out this way. We could probably do this, but I think what would be really good. In other words, if I don't do what's really good, then I don't care about my pet.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Well, it would be really good if we sold this. It's a little expensive, but I think this is probably going to be his best, quickest way. So if I don't go the expensive route,
I'm a terrible person.
He's going to suffer longer. He's going to... You know what, man? How about you treat the issue with the knowledge that you have, and I will pay you for that, and then I'll be on my happy way.
Don't guilt me into spending more on myself or my pet.
Do they all believe for 1 second that any of us don't know by now that they're getting kickbacks from the pharmaceutical companies for selling this shit and stuff?
Right.
You know what? Here's a flash, man. You're the one with the doctrine in medicine. Well, let me feed you a little social issue here. We know that you're getting paid for selling me the shit that I really don't need.
Right.
You know, you're a salesman. You're marketing.
Marketing ploy.
That's my pet peeve, man, because I'm telling this woman, I'm going, look, I'm gonna spend $100 here because I've done my research and I know what the dog needs, and you're gonna have to run this test, and of course, you got to get paid for your time, and that all adds up to about $85 to $87.
Sure. Which
is going to leave you almost a $20 area to slip something else in there, which we know you're going to try to do.
Yeah.
And when I leveled with her that I'm not paying more than $100 before I leave there, the whole story changed. I got the basics of what I needed, and everything's fine.
Weird.
So I have to ask, how many people just
don't ask?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, don't ask why. Or
that sound like Edith on the Bunkers? Ow, Archie. How many people? Yeah, they just pay the bill and for stuff they don't really need.
Right. So if we're gonna go on that route, then I might as well mention here that also speaking to what you're talking about, Amy went and got. She's trying to figure out why she's having headaches, but the headaches were a secondary issue. The first issue is something else. It's some female thing. I don't really even understand it all, but the secondary issue was she was trying to get her migraines that she has pretty regularly. She gets a migraine at least once a week, maybe once every other week, and so she's trying to figure out those, but she doesn't care about those as much as her whatever it is that she's trying to figure out. So she goes to see a doctor that's a specialist, a food specialist, and we're trying to find out if she's allergic to anything. We want to get her a food allergy test. So we get her in there, and she makes an appointment, and mind you, the appointment was just a consultation, and she would have had to come back for another visit to get the actual test. So we go in for the consultation, and he runs runs her blood pressure and all that stuff, and immediately finds out she has high blood pressure. She's like, yeah, I know I have high blood pressure. It runs in my family. It's not really what I'm here for. I'm trying to find out for this other thing. I'm trying to find out if I'm eating something that's causing these problems. Can we get myself a blood test? A food allergy test, so I can find out if what I'm eating is contributing to these problems that I'm having. And he's like, I'm sorry, until we can get your high blood pressure under control, I can't sign off on the food allergy. You got to get your blood pressure under control. Let me write you a prescription for. And she's like, all right. And as soon as she knew,
I'm going to your competitor, man.
As soon as he tried to sell her something for her blood pressure, and that's as far as he would go. He wouldn't even talk about the food allergy. He wouldn't even that wasn't even on the table anymore.
Because blood pressure medication is normally a lifelong.
Right, but
so how much over the period of her lifetime is he going to make?
Yeah,
on kickback.
Yeah, exactly. So he zoned in on something that she was not there for, and was like, "There's
the goal.
There's a cash cow. There's a paycheck," and that's all he was focused on. And if that's not the case, from me to him and out into the ether, I am sorry. But if that is the case, which I think that it is, F you, dude. That is not what you took a Hippocratic oath for. You didn't sign you didn't take a Hippocratic oath to get paybacks or kickbacks and paychecks. You did an oath to help people.
Well, I saw an interesting study
So
that they did,
irritating.
and this was probably 4 or 5 months ago now. They came out with this. And it was like in 1965, they were asking all these college students that were and to be doctors why they were doing it. And most of them were, well, I want to try to help people get better. My father had died of heart disease, and I want to be a cardiac guy. I want to, help figure out why this is happening. And they had all these things. And this past year, they went into the same college, asked the same, group of students, same age group of students, the same questions, and in almost to the last one, it's for the money. I want to be wealthy, and this is the way to do it.
Wow.
So then you got to sit back and go, wow, how do I choose a doctor now?
Yeah, no kidding.
I was telling my wife, we go in to see the doctor anymore, man, and they've got a laptop on there. And they ask you questions. Does your head hurt? Do you?
Oh my God, they're typing it into WebMD.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
I can do this myself.
That's exactly what I was saying. Why am I here?
Yes.
And I was telling my wife, I said, do you remember the days when doctors would put their hands on you, man?
Yes.
They would feel and they would
Poke and prod you.
And look in your eyes. And you've been having headaches, haven't you? Oh, yeah, I can see that's going on. And they look in your ear. Now they sit there and ask you questions and type the data
into the database.
Yeah,
and wait for it to spit them out an answer.
Give them this medication and that
right.
medication.
Yeah, exactly. You type it into the computer, and then it will spit out the answer of
Send
what.
Send this to Merck. Boom. Bing. There you go. Just hit the check.
I got to make sure that this hits my account before the weekend I'm going golfing.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
So screwed up, man.
And meanwhile, you go home with these 2 big bottles of pills that may or may not
be what you
help
need.
You,
yeah.
may or may not have side effects, may or may, if anybody watches the commercials, may or may not cause death, bleeding from the eyeballs, testicle dropping, or toenails turning red, or any of the other myriad of things that these chemicals cause in the human body. They don't care.
Nothing's
going to happen to them. They have a medical license.
Yeah.
Do you know that the majority of deaths caused in this country are caused by medical mishaps?
My uncle is no longer with us because of a medical mishap.
Everyone knows somebody that was overdosed, misdiagnosed, mistreated, down the line. So it's something to think about before you. I'm not suggesting you break your leg. You shouldn't go to the doctor.
Right.
Of course you should. If you gouge yourself open and you're bleeding profuse, of course
you should probably go get some stitches. Yes.
If you have a chronic illness, first ask yourself, why do I have this chronic illness?
Yes. What's causing it, and is it something I can solve or resolve with my diet?
Don't take a pill to cover up the pain or the.
Figure out the cause. And that's the thing that gets me so pissed off is because I wrote up a little thing on Facebook and posted it and got a bunch of back and forth a little while. And I said, this is a very simple situation with the whole asking for a food allergy test and not getting past the blood pressure thing. This is a very simple, very simplistic example of how the medical field, or why the healthcare industry is in the state that it's in. First of all, that was just the way it was. For my wife, she was like, well, that's the way it is. I'm like, I'm not paying that motherfucker my hard-earned money to advertise to me. I'm not paying that dude to not give you any sort of solution. I paid him for a service that I did not get. I did not get a service from that guy. All I got was, you got to do this or I'm not doing anything else with you. And I still had to get charged for that. So he did nothing and still made $128 off of us. He did nothing, but he still got he got to check the patient off the list and move on to the next one. Well, I guess I didn't get anything out of that pond. Next one, maybe I'll get something out of him. That is not the way you get people better. That is not the way you get people well. And one of the reasons that our healthcare system is so screwed up is because everybody looks at me like I have 4 heads when I say, this is screwed up. Going in for a food allergy test and not being able to get the food allergy test that you asked for, that you are willing to pay for, you didn't get it.
And being led down another trail.
And being led down another trail that we weren't even there for. We did not care about the blood pressure.
That might add that explain to him that you already knew about.
Right. Yeah. She's like, I realize that high blood pressure runs in my family. I'm dealing with that with my exercising and my diet. That's not why I'm here. I want to know if what I'm eating is screwing me in these other areas of my health, and wouldn't do it. Refused to do it.
That's like going, we need a new kitchen table. Well, let's go to this furniture builder and see if he can build us a new kitchen table. And you go in and sit down. He's going, okay, what kind of table you want? What kind of table? Where will you be sitting when you're not sitting at the table? Oh, probably in the living room. Well, you'll be able to see the table from the living room. Well, yeah, if I was sitting by the window, I could. Okay, I'm not addressing this kitchen table until we address the easy chair sitting by the window that you can see this table.
Right, exactly.
Dude, I'm not here for an easy chair.
I don't care about the easy chair. I care about my table. That's exactly it. So, it's a very small example, and it's a pretty innocuous example. But if that's what's going on and if that's what happened with my wife, and it was something that was non-life-threatening, think about all the crap that's happening with people that is life-threatening.
I'll tell you what, I could sit here and talk on 3 shows on that subject of subject matter that I myself has experienced, or
and your
my
wife
has
when she hurt her back. Yep.
And just how disappointed I am in the medical community because of the way they handle these things. I'm here to tell you that the medical community is not what it claims to be.
And we're not saying that there aren't people that are trying to help people. We realize there are people that genuinely want to try and help people.
I'm saying the large hospitals and a lot of these guys
just the way that the whole thing's set up.
Look at it with your own commonsensical mind when they do these kind of things, and ask yourself, what's the motivation for this?
Money.
Man? That's right.
Always money.
Let me ask you this. They all know that when a person comes in with diabetes, adult onset diabetes, that there's probably about an 85% likelihood that it's from his diet. It's from what he's eating. It's from his lack of exercise. But the first thing they do is they prescribe medication.
Of course.
That they make money off of.
Of course.
Because as long as they just prescribe medication, they'll make money off of him for the rest of his life. Like I heard a guy say, good health makes good sense. It just don't make good money. And they don't build this industry of medical marvel, which is not so freaking marvelous once you get into it.
Right. Well,
by not making money.
You can't make a ginormous 18-story hospital that has hundreds and hundreds upon hundreds of people working there, that has a helipad, and it has all of these fantastical machines that do all of these things.
Ambulances, all manned.
Yeah, you can't do all of those things off of people that aren't sick. I'm sorry, that's just not the way it is.
Sick people pay bills. Now,
or don't. But
now here's a little assignment for your homework. Go on and ask your favorite search engine to bring up a bar chart, say for instance, on chronic illness from start like at 1950 through the present.
Okay.
And watch how chronic illness
goes up.
Watch how the medical community comes up with expensive treatments as it goes up. First, ask yourself, why is it going up? Well, I think it's the crap that's in the food. I think it's a foregone conclusion. I think there are huge amounts of scientists out there that agree with that. Well, but yet we don't stop shoveling it out there.
Yeah.
Why? Because they're lobbied to do so. Because Let me put it to you this way. What would happen to this country if we cured cancer tomorrow?
There'd be a huge industry that was missing, and there'd be no billboards that go down the side of the road that says "Jog for Jugs."
The medical community would collapse on itself.
Mm-hmm. And that's a huge.
What if we cured diabetes? Same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Chronic illness is what drives that industry.
Yeah.
Good health makes good sense and don't make good money.
Yeah.
So they treat the disease. They don't cure it.
Well, and half of the treatments for the disease aren't for the disease. It's for side effect or managing the side effects of what they're giving you for the disease. So
now I'm 55 years old. Since I was a kid, I've been seeing on TV about all these new cancer breakthroughs. Nixon was going to have a war on cancer. All this kind of stuff. And the years go by, and the years go by, and the years go by.
Yeah, Nixon was way a long time ago.
And the same amount of people, the same percentage of the population today die from cancer that died back then from cancer. You mean to tell me that the billions and trillions and zillions of dollars spent on this with every week, I mean, you can watch the news and every week there's something else coming up. Oh, this will lead to the cure for cancer. All these things coming up, and yet the death rate doesn't change.
That is peculiar.
That's very peculiar. Come on, man.
That is very...
Once again, think with your commonsensical mind.
Yeah.
Don't think about what they... All these little white coats are looking the same, marching through the hallways, telling you what you need to take and not take for your life and your happiness.
Right.
Don't listen to what they're telling you. Tell you what your own common sense tells you. I know what it tells me.
Yeah, that's messed up. I was not aware of that.
Do your own research, man. Don't take my word for it.
Yeah.
Do your own research. And if you do, it'll blow your mind.
Yeah, be prepared.
It'll make you start eating good and exercise, and I can tell you that, because you're going to realize the same thing I realized when I got hurt. They're not going to fix you.
Well, and why? I don't understand. I guess I just don't understand. Like, how is it that that so many people just continue doing whatever it is that they want to do and expect better results? Like, how can you not go out and purposefully eat more healthy and expect that, well, this is going to get better by continuing to eat all this crap that we buy from the store? Me and Amy went grocery shopping the other day, and I know this is no secret, it's no big revelation, but it's still interesting nonetheless. We went grocery shopping, and it took us probably an extra 20 minutes to do our grocery shopping because we had to go on the hunt for stuff that was even remotely good for us.
And then you had to read the labels.
And then you had to read the labels still. I went over to the healthier section, quote unquote. So you have an entire aisle full of one thing. I went down the cereal aisle, and there's cereal after cereal after cereal. There's one section that's about this wide that was the quote unquote healthier cereals.
All overpriced.
Grabbed the back of it and looked at two things. I looked at the calories, and I looked at the sugar. I wanted to know how much sugar I was eating, and a quarter cup was the serving size of this healthy granola that I wanted to get. I have yogurt, and I was going to get yogurt and put it with some granola and have a yogurt granola parfait for breakfast. That's kind of what that's what I wanted for this week. I flipped it over, and for a quarter cup of this healthier stuff, one of them had 8 grams of sugar in it. The other one had 12 grams of sugar in it. So I walked over to the knockoff grape nuts, flipped that over, and for a half cup of that, it was only 3 grams of sugar. I'm like, how is this the healthier choice when there's still all this sugar in it? That doesn't make any sense.
Yep, and sugar is the drug, man.
Yeah.
Sugar is a drug it's the government's choice.
Yeah. So
they put it in everything, and it's highly addictive, and your body doesn't like it. And if you don't believe me, stop eating it for a couple of days.
Yeah, see how you feel.
And by sugar, I mean sugar in all forms. Don't put sugar of any kind in your body for a couple of days. And you're probably going, oh, that wouldn't be hard to do. I dare you. Try it.
Yeah.
And you're going to be jonesing.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to be jonesing for sugar. And ask yourself, it's like quitting heroin or
it's
stopping drinking or cocaine.
And if it's not sugar, sugar is really, really bad for,
MSG is another
MSG killer. Is what I was trying to get to, yeah. Sugar is terrible for you, and it's in everything and in things you wouldn't expect. But MSG, I went to get, I asked Amy to bring me home some peanuts. Planters peanuts. And you would think the logical conclusion that you wouldn't really have to label read peanuts because there'd be roasted peanuts and salt. Maybe maltodextrin to keep them from sticking together. Flip that damn label over. There was, I couldn't even believe it. There is roasted peanuts. There is salt. There is MSG, maltodextrin, and there's a little bit of sugar in it. I'm like, why was there sugar or MSG in these? Like Planters, come on, Planters, like these.
Why couldn't you put peanuts in there and go here?
Yeah. Granted, they tasted amazing, and I ate them very, very quickly and immediately wanted some more. But why? Why was there any reason to put MSG on peanuts?
Make you want more.
Exactly.
And we know now that MSG is bad for us and people look for us. Now, if what we're saying isn't true, if they don't want to shove this shit down your throat for just those reasons, as we discussed previously, why does MSG have 7 names?
Yeah, isn't it?
There's a list on the computer of all the names. Put it on there and say,
here we go.
What kind of names, what names does MSG fall under or something?
MSG.
Yeah. Why would they have to camouflage it if that's not true?
Sneaky names for MSG. Check your labels. This is from lifespa.com. It's not just a flavor enhancer. Let's see here. MSG reactions.
MSG's a killer, man. I'm telling you. But it sells food and increases shelf life.
The danger of prevalence of MSG will shock you. The flavor enhancer is linked to a host of health issues, including fibromyalgia, which I also think is already a made-up illness, obesity, fatty liver, high insulin, blood sugar, high cholesterol, liver toxicity, metabolic syndrome, high blood pressure, disturbance to the gut-brain connection, and neurological and brain damage.
You know what they mean by gut-brain reaction?
I do not know what that means.
Because when you eat food, when you eat good food,
yes,
and your stomach will fill up to about 3/4 of it, it will send a signal to your brain saying you're
stop.
Full.
Yeah,
and your hunger will go away. This inhibits that. Okay. It will make you continue to eat and eat and eat. Now, why would they want you to do that?
I don't know. Okay, here's the list. It was almost all the way to the bottom of the page.
Yeah, this is what MSG is
Hidden
called.
names for MSG and free glutamatic acid. Names of ingredients that always contain processed free glutamatic acid. So we got glutamatic acid, glutamate, monosodium glutamate, monopotassium glutamate, calcium glutamate, Okay, this is going to get tough because I don't read these kinds of...
See, and I thought there was 7. There's far more than 7.
Yes. This is monoaminium glutamate, magnesium glutamate, natrium glutamate.
Well, that sounds wonderful, though, doesn't it?
Natrium. Yeast extract.
Now, whoa. How can you get MSG out of yeast extract?
I don't know. This says anything that's hydrolyzed. So anything that's
hydrolyzed,
any hydrolyzed protein, calcium caseinate, sodium caseinate, yeast food, yeast nutrient, autolyzed yeast, gelatin, textured protein, soy protein concentrate, soy protein isolate, wheat protein, whey protein concentrate, whey protein isolate, anything protein, vestine, and I can't pronounce the last one. That's all hidden names for MSG. Some of those I couldn't even pronounce.
Now, once again, if what we said isn't true, why is that necessary? Why do you need to camouflage this, let's call it what it is, killer, so people don't know that it's there?
Yeah.
Well, I know why. And so do you, if you'd admit it to yourself.
Okay, so the following are ingredients suspected of containing or creating sufficient processed-free glutamic acid to serve as MSG reaction triggers in highly sensitive people. All that to say, here's a couple of other things that could possibly be MSG related on your label. Cornstarch, corn syrup, modified food starch, lipidized butterfat, which just sounds delicious, by the way. Dextrose, rice syrup, brown rice syrup, milk powder, reduced fat milk, most things labeled low fat or non-fat, anything labeled enriched, anything labeled vitamin enriched. So your labels are starting to look pretty.
Here's the deal.
Pretty terrible at this point.
If it comes in a box or it's prepackaged or pre-made, don't buy it.
Yeah, basically.
Buy food fresh, make it yourself. It's the only way you're going to get away from it.
Mm-hmm. And even then, you're still faced with having to read your labels with the shit you season with.
Yeah.
I flipped over stuff and I had no idea. I'm like, oh yeah, this has got whatever. You know, you look at it, you're like, yeah, this is one of my favorite. Flip it over. One of the first through third ingredients, which means whatever is listed first, there's the most of. Usually somewhere between 1 and 4 MSG is in freaking flavorings. I had to ditch some of my favorite flavorings because of this.
I can't remember where. I might even have been with you. We were in a store. Maybe it was the wife. I don't remember. And I was in the spice aisle and I'm looking and I pick up a jar and it says MSG seasoning. And I'm, oh my God.
Yeah.
It's like a blatant crime, man. There's a bottle of it and they're going to sell it to you. And it ain't cheap.
Yeah. Yeah, MSG, people in all over Asia, they'll straight up put MSG right into their, and it looks like salt, but it looks like you took a bunch of salt crystals and pressed them all together into one long salt crystal. So they're not this long, but if you were to put them up like under a microscope and a piece of salt looked like a little cube, like yay, it would look like 3 of them all next to each other.
You know what I've started doing? I don't even use processed salt anymore. I use Himalayan salt.
I like
crystals.
that Himalayan stuff is good.
In the pepper grinder I got, I put it in there with the pepper.
Oh, that's a good
idea. So just salt and pepper at the same time.
All at the same time.
So I grind my own peppercorns, salt for the Himalayan salt in there.
Yeah, that Himalayan salt is actually really good.
Yeah. I mean, I grow my own vegetables, for God's sake.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I think I'm going to have to start doing that too.
And I'll tell you what, if they let me have my own chicken coop in that town, I'd have one of them too.
Hell yeah. I would love to. By the way, there's no restrictions for that in this area. I can have chicken.
Cage them up, man.
I've considered. Yeah, I've considered it. I would love to start growing my own vegetables, and I'd kind of like to be the. And it's weird because growing up, you always think of people that talk like this or whatever, like, oh, there's those weird health food freaks and the weird hippie health food nuts or whatever. But the more you think about it or whatever, all those hippie people that we used to make fun of when we were growing up, they all had it right. They were the ones that are like, yeah, you're going to die from everything that you get from the box store.
You know, the ones that always get me is like you're walking down the mall and there's this old guy and he's walking around. He's full of energy, bouncing around. You get talking to him, say, how old are you? I'm 87.
Good
Damn,
Lord.
Sam. You know, what do you eat? I eat the same thing I always eat every day. You know, I have a salad for lunch, man. I make my own bread. You know, my mom taught me how to do boom, boom, boom. And you think about it, and it's a simple diet.
Yeah.
And he stays active. And the man's almost a century old. He's still bouncing around, walking around the mall.
So something that I think would be really beneficial for this country, and it's something that you don't learn in high school. You don't learn it anywhere. there was an option to take home ec or whatever, but it wasn't required. And I think, honestly, at this point, there's a couple of things that I think should be required for you to graduate from high school. I think you should be able to balance a checkbook, run a budget, and run your finances. And I'm not saying...
You should be able to run your ass. You should also...
be able to run your life.
Yeah, well, I mean, physically, you should be They used to have physical education.
Yeah.
You should have to pass a physical education test.
I think so too. So I think you should have to be able to, I don't know, at least be able to do 20 push-ups upon graduating.
Yeah, I don't have to be crazy.
Yeah.
But I mean, don't be Jabba the Hutt rocking out of the school. You know, I'm gonna go out and make a living. No, you ain't. Dude, you can't get out of bed.
You're not gonna do crap. So I think you should be able to run your own finances. They should teach you how to balance a checkbook and open a checking account and all that stuff. And I think they should also teach you the dangers of opening a credit card and being irresponsible with your credit. And I think they should teach you something about how to eat and how to prepare yourself a meal. I mean, I know it seems like it's the most simple thing in the world, but my best friend Josh, all he does is eat out to eat. Like he can't hardly cook for himself. He eats out to eat all the time. That's all he eats.
I enjoy it. I cook every day.
I find it extremely relaxing. I find it enjoying.
And I cook fresh foods, and I enjoy experimenting and seeing just. You know what I did last night? I took my fillet knife. I got chicken breast, and I filleted it along, and I rolled it over and filleted it on. So what I ended up was just this big blanket of chicken meat, and the salt and pepper deal. Put it on there. I chopped up some bell pepper real fine and spread it on there. I put some honey over it, and then I put mango on there.
Yum.
And I rolled that back up, and I put it in the oven and baked it. No oil. Oh, I take it back. I put a little bit of coconut oil in there.
I've been on a big coconut oil kick.
And put it in there, man, and baked it. Didn't fry it. Didn't bread it. Didn't do anything like that. Just cooked it. It came out. I put a little vinegar in a pan, a little bit of honey, and swished it around to make just like this little sweet and sour sauce. I put some more peppers in that with a little bit of onion and swished it around. Poured it over the top of it. Some brown rice on the side of it, and some steamed broccoli.
That sounds good.
Dude, it was. The girls were going, "Oh my God, this was incredible! I love it."
That's right.
Get it in it.
Now that's one thing where
you know what? That was low calorie. It was packed with nutrients.
Sure.
And it took me 20 minutes.
And that's the thing is, I think everybody has like this big misconception that eating healthy means that you got to have this long drawn out process, and it's going to take you 2 hours to make every single meal,
and it's going to taste like sawdust and wood chips.
And that might be the case if that's what you're aiming to do. If you're trying to make some weird complex meal that has 18 ingredients in it and stuff you've never heard of, and you don't really know how to open this weird fruit that you've never seen before, it's going to take you some prep time. But doing something like that's easy. And I guess all of that to say is that we want you guys to be healthy in a way that is simple and in a way that's quick to get you on your way, with your life. Get on with your life. Go do these things that are easy, and then go do whatever it is that you enjoy.
Real quick story.
Yeah.
I was a truck driver for almost 20 years. You know what kind of a diet truck drivers are on. Not good. The kind of diets we're talking about. It's one of the reasons I know what I know about that. Driving truck almost killed me. Got real sick about it. At the time, I had to get out of the truck because I was put in a hospital. I was making $10,000 a month.
Hard to say no to.
Had 25 acres. I had a house in town. I had 25 acres up by the lake. I was on my way home to sign the final paperwork to get a road and plumbing and all that in there and get a house built on that property. Had money in the bank. Had money put away in retirement accounts. I was set up to retire in 5 years from that. Gave it all to doctors. Sold my property, had to pay it all to doctors. They took it all. Don't let them take your life's work away from you because you eat like shit. You don't want to exercise.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's
right now. There's a doctor living up by the lake.
Right, right.
You know.
So I mean,
and here's the bad part: they didn't do shit for me.
Yeah.
Everything.
You did it yourself.
I did it myself by studying and having a long talk with myself and going, if you're going to survive this is what you have to do.
Yeah, you got to start eating better. And I'm not saying that you're not gonna flow up or that it's easy to do all the time. I still go out and I love to eat things that are not good for me. Go eat those things and have a good time with it. Just make sure the majority of what you're doing is the good stuff, so you can allow yourself to have the crap.
Well, like what we do is, if we splurge and have those things once a week, it's more enjoyable.
Yeah, I think so too.
You look forward to it. It's an event, and the rest of the week, that will all come naturally, because after you do it for a couple of weeks, you're going to go, man, I feel good. Mm-hmm. I feel good. I think I'm going to go out and go do something.
Yep.
Rather than plopping on the couch and grabbing your game controller.
Yeah. Yep.
You know, man, I think I'll pull that bike out of the garage, man, and go, you know.
Yeah.
And become even more fit by having fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know what happened to that. It used to be, in the evenings after working hours, you'd walk out in your neighborhood and the neighbors would be outside and kids would be playing and people would be running around doing stuff. You don't see that
Everybody's
anymore.
Inside, and it's weird because you'll walk outside and you'll pass your neighbor, you know, kind of like two ships in the night almost, but it's kind of like, oh, there's other people around here.
My privacy is being violated.
Yeah.
It's your neighbor. He's in his yard.
Yeah. This is a really odd occurrence. I don't know why they're out here.
I don't know. Just the way it seemed. Another real quick story. Me and the wife, we were on one of those days. I think we were coming home from your house actually, and we went. Let's grab some dinner so we don't have to cook anything when we get home. And there's Wendy's right there. Let's go into Wendy's and have a hamburger. We haven't been in Wendy's in forever. Mm-hmm. So, all right. So we went in and we both ordered the basic burger, you know, and went and sat down. And I got looking around, and you could tell the regulars in the place, man. They were in there pushing food in their face and stuff. And, you know, and I mean, they were lethargic. And I remember going, they have a gray tint over their face. You can see the unhealth in them.
Huh.
And they would move like this, you know, and everything was a struggle to do.
Yeah.
And I go, my God, Lisa, look at them.
Like food zombies.
Kinda.
Weird.
Know? I challenge you. I challenge anybody. Go in there, late dinner time or something, so you don't have to be in there with a big crowd or something.
Yeah.
And sit down and just watch.
Just look around. Just
watch. Assess it for yourself.
Yeah.
And then look at what they're eating. And you'll come to the realization they eat this every day. Mm. This is what they subsist on.
This is their staples.
They don't make their own food.
Yeah.
And they'll take this lump of grease and carbohydrate and put a fancy healthy name on it, and they think they're
eating okay.
Oh, I'm gonna have a salad. And they pour this fatty stuff over and put cheese on it, breadcrumbs. And, I'm eating healthy. No, you're not. Yeah. God,
you got to,
You spiced your crap with some greens.
Yeah, you peppered some. Yeah, you peppered some lettuce in there.
In all seriousness, just do that. Just go to a fast food restaurant of your choice.
Yeah,
and go in and just sit there, you know, and order a water or whatever, and sit back and just kind of watch.
Yeah,
and I think when you consciously do that, you see things that you normally don't notice. Mm-hmm. And you're going to go, wow, these guys are addicted to this freaking crap.
Yeah. Well, and it's unfortunate because I get busy and I'll go and hit up a fast food joint. I'll go grab a burger or whatever. But it just seems like if you don't, at some point you don't realize I am literally going to eat myself into my grave faster than if I eat a little bit healthier. Then if you never have that realization for yourself, then you're going to have a long drawn out, slow, kind of painful diabetic
chronic illness
death.
Sucks, man. Take it from me. Chronic illness sucks. I'm one of the few people that came out the other end of the tunnel. Mm-hmm. And I look back, and I'm not doing that again. There's no way in God's green earth am I going to go through that
and
again.
Majority of it was because of your poor diet, was it not?
Sedentary, in a truck seat, eating fast food because that's what was available to me. And getting my ass beat up and banging down the road all the time, to the point to where my body had decomposed to such a state that the minorest thing would injure me. My body literally turned into gelatin.
Yeah, you injured you got a brain injury from going over some bumps, right? Or like something that wouldn't have been
brainstem swelled up. And, it was ugly.
Something that wouldn't have normally been that big of a deal, right?
Took some internal injury. Oh, if I was fit, I wouldn't have bothered anything at all, but I wasn't. Point being is, don't let yourself get to that, and that's what people are doing. You don't have to be in a truck. To live that same lifestyle. People
definitely
are doing that on their couch.
Yeah, people are doing it by choice. Like they go and sit all day at work.
And I'm telling you, your day will come. If that's the way you choose to live, your day will come. Hopefully it don't come like that. And you fall over and turn blue, and that's a wrap, baby. I was fortunate enough to, if you can call that fortunate,
catch it while you could.
Yeah, I was able to come out of it. So and that was just by tenacity alone. But I wanted to speak to, you say, well, I get busy and I get it, but I don't see anything wrong with that. I don't see anything wrong with occasionally
swinging through,
grabbing something, as long as the majority of the time you're seeing to your nutritional needs, because now your body's strong enough to blow that stuff out.
Right.
I'm talking about the individuals
that
breakfast,
stack
lunch,
it
and
on
dinner.
Top of that's all you do.
That's
what
they
you eat.
Yeah.
I had
those people are dying slow, agonizing deaths without even
knowing it. Yeah, I had just last night. I had a Big Mac for the first time in probably 6 months, maybe even longer, maybe even 10 or 12 months. It's been a long time since I had a Big Mac, and it showed up here. Me and Josh got to drinking. Me and my buddy got to drinking, and his roommate just got off work. He's like, "Dude, come up and drink with us and grab 4 Big Macs and come on up." And I was like,
"You need alcohol and Big Mac."
Yeah. So he comes up with a whole thing full of Big Macs and some fries and whatnot. And I grabbed my Big Mac that he bought for me, and I ate it, and it was amazing. I mean, it was so good. But that was the first time I'd had one. And since I can't even remember the last time I had one, and if you can remember the last time you've had a Big Mac, maybe it might have been too soon that you've had a Big Mac.
Well, I can explain to you why it tastes so good, because it was explained to me. And McDonald's is a huge corporation, firstly. Let's start with that. They got more money than most countries have. And with all that money comes a lot of scientific research.
Sure.
And what they did was they've managed, just to make a long story short, they've taken all the fiber and the nutrition out of what's in there, and they put in salts and sugars and MSGs and these slices of cheese that has gone through 6 years of testing to find out just that right little balance of stuff. And what they did was they made a thing that when you bite into it, you get this pow of flavor that engages the part of your brain that engages when you have an orgasm.
Sure. Yeah, it's the same exact thing.
So what do you want? I want another one.
I want more. Yeah.
And that's their bang for the buck. What kind of nutrition are you getting out of that? None. Yeah. In fact, you're doing damage. You're hitting your liver and your kidneys and your... But when you bite into it...
It's amazing. Yeah.
Oh.
And
that's what people... That's why they go there.
And that's honestly, I can't say anything bad about that. That's amazing. That's genius, because
I'm not saying it isn't genius.
Yeah,
I'm saying that it's horrible to the human body.
Absolutely, but it was a damn good burger. It was so good. But we're already at an hour and 15, so we should probably start wrapping up here pretty quick. But just all of these stories and all of these things that we've been saying, just be conscious of what's going into your body, because literally what goes in is what comes. What you put into it is what you're going to get out of it. If you
everybody knows it, your mom's told you, your
if you put good in, you get good out.
You are what you eat.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and then another thing. This is a great subject to be on for the way we always close the show. Club swinging goes really, really great with healthy eating.
Absolutely. And I'll explain to you why that is too. What kind of animal are we?
We are a omnivore, are we not? Yeah. An omnivore that's kind of built and framed similarly to an ape-ish.
We're hunter-gatherers.
Yes.
We are supposed to reach for things.
Yes. Not saying we're apes, just saying that we're similar.
Chase things, run from things.
Yeah.
The saber-tooth wants the deer more than you do. You better be able to run.
That's right.
And here's something that I can explain that maybe you knew, maybe you don't. Our bodies are made to collect fat. That's because where we're from. As hunter-gatherers, you eat all summer long.
And
hunting's good. Shit's growing.
Yeah.
Winter comes, not so much.
Yeah.
It's feast or famine. So when you feast, it packs it on.
Mm-hmm.
When you famine, it lives off of your stores. We don't have famine anymore.
Mm-hmm. All we do is feast.
All we do is pack it on.
Mm-hmm.
Why the hell am I so goddamn fat? Because you're eating all the time.
Because you're not
What's the
experiencing
option
any
to
famine.
that? The option to that is move around, burn calories, movement. Indian clubs will incorporate both these things that we're talking about. When's the last time you put your hands over your head?
Me personally, I do it all the time because I do that. But before
try doing that. Put your hand behind your head and then move your elbows back. See if you can.
Before I started swinging clubs, I don't even remember the last time I had my hands up above my head because you just don't need to do it. There's nothing throughout your day that requires it.
Plus your coordination. Your brain to your hands, your abilities to do things. When's the last, shuffling cards, being able to catch something, probably suffers as you get older. What if you can improve all of these things all at one time?
Yeah, just by learning some...
Burn calories.
Learning some movements.
Loosen up your joints. Increase your mobility. Clean out them neural pathways so your coordination, your eye-to-hand coordination improves dramatically, I might say. Indian Clubs does that. It does all of those things and more. But if you just eat good, make your own food, swing these Indian Clubs on a regular basis, you're going to notice such a huge change in your life that and
you're going to feel great. I
know you've heard this on the TV 1,000 times, man. This is not the TV. I'm trying to tell you flat out, I did it. This is what's gotten me through. And it's easy.
Yeah. Well, and I literally have not felt this good in my life, and I'm now into my 30s, and I feel better now than back when I was doing a lot of rigorous exercising, and I think I felt good at that time because I was doing tons of rigorous exercising.
But
I stopped doing it.
The difference is this is natural movement. Mm-hmm. This is the movement our bodies were designed to make.
Yeah.
Not the monkey up, down.
Back in the day when I was very, very active, and I've said it a couple times on the show or whatever, but for 9 or 12 years, for quite a while of my earlier years, I was into modern and jazz dancing. I took classes. I participated in dance recitals and whatnot, and that's how I got so by doing natural movement, I was extremely in shape. All we did to stay in shape was we would move around and sweat for 3 hours. Dance practice was for 3 hours, and then at the end of dance practice, after sweating our balls off for 3 hours, we'd do 50 push-ups and 50 crunches. And that was 3 times a week. And I was in peak physical condition back then. That was the only time in my life I ever had a six-pack. And I stopped dancing, and I got fat.
Well, I spent time in the Marine Corps.
Mm-hmm.
I survived Marine Corps boot camp. Mm-hmm. Last time I had a six-pack.
Yeah.
We did far more than that.
Yes, absolutely. yeah.
But I understand exactly what you're saying. I felt in that time of my life that I could do anything. Mm-hmm. That I probably could do most of anything that I thought of.
And I'm not there yet, but I feel like I've been swinging clubs for a year now. I think if I swing for about another year, I think I will feel like I did back then, where I feel like I could go do anything and not worry about it.
And I think the point we're saying is we both know what it's like to be in shape.
Yeah.
We both know what it's like to be out of shape.
Yes. I used to be a very big shape before. Now I'm still a bigger shape, but I used to be bigger than this even. I was all the way up to 270 for a while.
I tipped the scale over 300 pounds at one point in my life, and I'm feeling good, man. Yeah. I feel better at 55 than I felt at 45.
Yep. I'll actually even go out there and I'll start saying what my weight is here. I just weighed myself this morning. I'm at 232 right now.
I'm at 245.
And the skinniest I've been since I stopped dancing was last summer, to get into shape to look good for. Or was it? That was 2 summers ago already. 2 summers ago, I got into shape to go and have my photograph taken for some important photos. I got married, and I didn't want to look fat in those photos, so I did everything I could to lose some weight. I juiced, and I did all these things, and I got down to 226. And just by swinging these clubs and exercising or whatever, and that's without doing something fancy and crash. That was I did a crash thing in 4 months and got down to 226. I'm almost back to 226 by habit. So I knew that I wasn't going to stick with the 226 because I crashed that. I got down there by cheating, kind of. Mm-hmm. So I ballooned back up. But
that always happens, yeah.
Yeah. So, but by doing things, by changing my habits, by doing things purposefully, I'm almost back to where I was when I crashed down there.
And it's something you can live with.
It's something I can live with now. Yeah. And I can't say enough about these clubs because first of all, I make them, so I'm sitting there swinging them all day because
making them's a workout.
Making them's a workout, and you swing them to see if they feel right and all that stuff. So, but when I'm not making them, I also use them as that's how I work out. That's because that's how much I believe in them. I think I'm kind of the type of person that I don't really get into something I can't really get behind and really like full heart 100% believe in. So I 100% believe in these, and I think they're fantastic. I really think
agreed.
I think you'd really enjoy them if you got yourself a set. And if you don't get them from us, I mean, it would be awesome if you did get them from us. But if you didn't, if you just got them, you're going to be happy.
And here's something too for those of you that are local around here, and by local I mean in reasonable driving distance. This summer we're going to start making some trips around the area and introduce some people to these clubs.
You're going to get
and start swinging them, and we'll have some with us.
Get them into the public eye.
You will be able to try them on the spot. We will show you.
Mm-hmm.
And
we'll have some extras with us.
And we will also tell you how to make makeshift clubs that you can swing yourself for nothing.
Yeah.
If you want. Eventually you're going to come to us because you're going to want some nice clubs. But if it'll get you working on them,
yeah,
we'll show you how to do it. We don't need to make any money to get you started on these things.
Yeah. So,
because we're that convinced that if you try it, you're going to go, wow, where's this been?
Yeah, I'm going to need. And the thing is, once you get a set, you're going to need another set because you're going to want a few because you're going to want your
that's what's happened to us.
You're going to want your warm-up ones, and then you're going to want your heavier ones, and then you're going to want your really heavy ones that really do put on some muscle for you.
Yeah, which are called meals.
Yes.
I want to do, which I'm swinging now.
I still haven't made myself a set of meals yet, but I got
all
one.
This up in here is all growing on me now, and it's from swinging the meals.
Yeah. So my arms have never looked as awesome as they do. Like I'm very excited about how this is all going. So, if you would like to get some, and please definitely get yourself some, but if you'd like to get some from us, you can go to rosewaterkinetics.com, hit the contact us button. If there's something in the store area that you don't see that you're wanting, contact us. We can make you anything that you want. Just we only have so many pictorial representations of what we make. So contact us. Go to rosewaterkinetics.com and hit the contact us button, and we should probably get on out of here. We've been yakking at these guys for quite a while now.
Yep. Get you some clubs. Get swinging them, man. Thanks for joining us here today. And remember, man, get off the couch. Get out and live it. You only get to do it once.
Yeah.
Live life in 3 dimensions, man. Quit staring at the tube. Don't live it in 2. We're out.
For all of this and more, go to timespentpoorly.com.